What's up, faithful? Welcome to the East Coast Red and Gold podcast. I'm Niners Jess, along with Ty Alston, Maddie B, and Niner Lady Dina. It is Wednesday, September 3rd. How's everyone doing?
Doing good.
Our long nightmare is finally over.
Right.
There is going to be actual professional football played between first-string players this Sunday.
Exactly.
This Thursday.
Yes.
No
this
more
Monday.
exhibition.
Holy crap. Like, it just seemed like it dragged on even longer this year, guys. And honestly, it was probably a little bit quicker because the season started kind of like a couple days quicker, it seems like. So it's here, guys.
I feel
suffered.
like
Our suffering is over.
I feel like
We're
this
just
offseason, even though we didn't make the playoffs last year, I feel like it kind of went quickly compared to last offseason.
I don't know.
Like flew by.
I wish I could say the same. Like, it was just very. What's Joanne Jennings doing today? How's this cat?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that
There's a
yeah.
lot of ups and downs.
Yes.
Yeah.
The season.
It was
Throughout the
very,
offseason.
and it was a little longer too because like the off season started earlier, as Jess said. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get to it, we are brought to you by Faithful Gear. Get your customized Niners gear made for the faithful by the faithful at faithfulgear209.com. All right. So our special guest will be joining us in a few minutes. But let's talk a little Vivid Seats, projecting that there's 53% 49ers faithful that are going to invade Lumen Field on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Darnold's their starting quarterback. Like, is this a shocker in some way? Like, I don't. I think the reason they wanted to do this game early was because I think a lot of people are afraid that the Seahawks are going to be not that great this year. So, you know.
Well, Maddie, on that note, let's bring in Corbin Smith. He covers the Seahawks for the Emerald City Spectrum. Corbin, welcome, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Doug Baldwin, one of the greatest like undersung fantasy receivers of all time. He was like the consistent wide receiver too during that early Russell Wilson era, and like just perfect. Worked perfectly on that team.
So
Fantastic player.
Yes. So we were just talking about how Vivid Seats projected that 53% of the 49ers faithful are going to invade Lumen Field on Sunday. Your thoughts on that, and how Maddie was saying that, maybe the Seahawks aren't going to be too good this year.
Well,
right. So they want to get the game in early.
Second statement there. But look, I think in week one, I'd be surprised if it's going to be that red and gold heavy in the stadium. That has been an issue for them the last couple of years. I think some of it's been because they just haven't been winning there. They have not been winning games at home. And I think a lot of these fans have been just selling their tickets. So I don't know that week one is going to be that way, especially the people I talked to today. I don't know that number that's getting thrown around there is anything that makes any legitimate sense, but we'll see. I know 49ers fans always travel pretty well when it comes to Lumen Field. As far as competitiveness goes, look, the quarterback situation is the one thing that I think is hovering over this team. We'll see what Sam Darnold looks like in this offense. I've been impressed by what I've seen in the training camp practices, the brief preseason stint that he had in the second game. Thought that Sam Darnold looked pretty good, but I also have been pro Geno Smith. I thought Geno did not get a lot of supporting help around him the last couple years, and he still managed to weather that team to 9 and 10 wins. I would have loved to see him with the supporting cast they have for this team right now. But we'll see what Sam Darnold does. That's really, to me, why the national perspective is that a lot of people are down in Seattle is I think there's some skepticism. Can Sam Darnold come close to what he did in Minnesota last year? Or is he going to be the pre-Minnesota version in this offense? And that's really going to determine what this team does this year, because they've got a lot of defensive talent. They have an improved offensive line. And I think that they're skill players, albeit without the star power of a DK Metcalf. I think they've got a lot of really good pieces for Sam Darnold to work with. So there is going to be pressure on him to live up to the contract he signed.
So besides what you've seen about Sam Darnold, what are you hearing? Like, what's the buzz up there in the Pacific Northwest?
They're very excited about him. And look, Clint Kubiak 49ers faithful know this from his brief time that he was there with Sam Darnold as the backup quarterback. He absolutely loves Sam Darnold. He thinks he can do everything he's looking to do in this offensive scheme. Mike McDonald's been really frustrated at practice because they haven't been able to get pressure on him because he's getting the ball out very quickly. So behind that offensive line, that's going to be key. So everything has been positive on Sam Darnold coming out of there. His teammates love him. Geno Smith was a little different personality than Sam Darnold, and not necessarily in a bad way, but I think that this new quarterback situation, I think the guys have really rallied around him. So again, we'll see what happens when the bullets start flying on Sunday. If they struggle out of the gate, maybe that support starts to change a little bit, but it feels like he has coaches and teammates on his side and a lot of positive reviews coming out of there.
So you mentioned the O-line and how it's improved. As far as protecting him, you think the O-line is going to give the Niners D-line some issues?
I think the biggest difference that you will see with this team is the run game, and they have the personnel to be able to handle this zone-centric scheme. Gray Zabel, I think, is going to be an absolute star in this league. Their first-round pick out of North Dakota State. That guy is a body mover. He's extremely athletic. They've got a center that they like in Jalen Sundell that happened to play at North Dakota State as well. That program has kicked out a lot of really good offensive linemen in the NFL. So just getting some tough, physical, athletic guys that really fit this scheme. I think Charles Cross is ready for a breakout fourth season. Having a healthy Abraham Lucas for the first time in 2 years is going to be big as well. Really, the only major question mark I have is Anthony Bradford at right guard because his performance has been pretty hit and miss the last 2 years, but he won his job. He earned his job this year rather than getting it by default like he did last year. So I think the run game is where you're really going to see that improvement show up, and I think it's going to take some pressure off the pass rush. If they're running the ball effectively, it is going to slow down the other side of the line. The Nick Bosa's of the world not going to be able to pin their ears back. So that's, to me, where you'll see the most improvement from this team. Does it show up in first game like this? Does it translate from what we saw in some of the preseason reps? We'll see. But there's actually optimism about the offensive line in Seattle, which I think it's probably been 12 years since that's been the case here. It's been a long time since they've had a even average offensive line in Seattle.
Yeah, I think the Niners fans are split between our offensive line. Some like them, some don't. So I guess we'll see starting on Sunday. Wide receivers: Cooper Kupp, JSN, Bobo. Anyone else to add to that mix that we should be worried about?
Torrey Horton, the rookie out of Colorado State. I think Torrey Horton is going to be a really good player right out of the gate. He's been dealing with an ankle injury the last couple weeks, but he was a full participant today. They've been cautious bringing him back. It sounds like he's going to be good to go to play on Sunday. He's the legit 4-3 guy that can take the top off a defense that's going to help make up for DK Metcalf's departure. And honestly, he runs a lot more routes than what DK Metcalf did. He is a more well-rounded player coming into the league. If he wasn't coming off a knee and hamstring injury that cost him part of his senior season, I think he probably is a second-round pick, and they got him in the 5th. So this guy has been a revelation. He's the reason Marquez Valdez-Scantling is now in a 49ers uniform because he basically beat him out for that third receiver spot, and Seattle decided to keep other receivers that had more special teams value at the back of the depth chart.
Yeah, 6'2", 200 pounds. He's looking like a good prospect. He's the only receiver I'm really concerned with, to be honest with you, because he looks like he can do some damage.
I think that's understating JSN, though. Jackson Smith and Jig
well,
really,
he's really good.
Player.
Yeah.
I think this is my opinion. I think he was the number one receiver the second half last year, and that was part of the reason the Seahawks were more than willing to give in to DK Metcalf's trade request that he made.
So any besides the running backs, any under the radar players for the Seahawks?
I don't think he should necessarily be under the radar because he had 4 touchdowns as a rookie last year, but A.J. Barner is going to be a really fun player in this offense, I think. He is a chain-moving tight end that can occasionally hit you downfield, reliable hands, physical blocker. I wouldn't be surprised if he finished in the top 3 in the team in catches and he gets 7 or 8 touchdowns this year. Because again, he had 4 last year. I think this offense is going to be better suited for red zone efficiency. He is a guy that in year 2, I think has a chance to really break out in this offense.
He's starting, right? He's their starting tight end, right?
Yeah, he is. And then they really have 2 because they're going to be running a lot of 2 tight end sets, less 3 receiver. Elijah Arroyo, the rookie out of Miami, will be the other one. And he's more of a seam stretching, vertical athletic threat. That's more of a receiving. He's more of a big bodied receiver, whereas AJ Barner is a true wide tight end that can do a little bit of everything.
That was my question. I was wondering about Arroyo and how they were going to deploy them, but it looks like they're, that would make a lot of sense, especially with they've got everything going.
Sorry.
I mean, they're off this. It's all off the same tree, right? So
exactly. That's what I was just about to say. The offense, so you can clearly see when that 2 tight end set comes
or whatever
out,
you call it, which is like the Walsh Shanahan tree.
Little
like
play action, get them both out in the route. Yeah.
So, any comparisons between the Niners offense and the Seahawks offense?
Yeah, actually, I wrote an article about this today on Emerald City Spectrum. It's interesting because both these guys, Shanahan and Kubiak, they were basically getting taught this offense when they came out of the womb. Like, these guys have been around this system for a long time. Yeah. Really, the big difference, especially the last couple years, Kyle Shanahan's gone more toward, not that he's running a Sean McVay style offense, but there's been a lot more of the 3 wide receiver, 11 personnel looks the last couple years. Some of that's been because of injuries too. But Clint Kubiak runs a ton of 2 and 3 tight end sets. Like, he is really into the 13 personnel, 12 personnel. Last year, the Saints were in the top 5 in the league in percentage for both those. The 49ers near the bottom of the league in both those. So that's really the only notable difference that I noticed, though, when I was breaking down film. They run a lot of similar, very similar run concepts, very wide zone centric, under center a lot more than most of the teams in the league, top 10 rates in that regard. Really, the difference is just how they utilize personnel. Now, both these guys love using fullbacks, which I love. I love the old school 2-back sets, but the tight end is, I would say, multiple tight ends really the big difference in what Clint Kubiak does. And I think he gets that from his dad. That's been more their style. That's their variation of the Shanahan offense, and I expect to see a lot of that on Sunday.
So Brock Purdy is 3-0 in Lumen Field. What are you hearing? How do you think Mike McDonald's defense is going to, contain him and shut him down?
I don't think they're worried about shutting him down. I think it starts and ends with the run game. They feel like if they can get Brock Purdy in a position, especially with Ayuk not being back, Deebo Samuel now being in Washington, they feel like the key is going to be limiting the run game and putting the 49ers in a lot of second and third and long situations so they can get their pass rush going. That's been the biggest difference in the last 3 or 4 games they played against the 49ers at Lumen Field. They have consistently been giving the 49ers good yardage on first and second down. They have not been able to get ahead of the stick, so to speak. That's going to be the key for the Seahawks. If they can get the crowd involved and the 49ers are consistently in third and long situations and they can sick their pass rushers after them, they were able to do that some in the road game late last year. If they can do that at home, that is going to be crucial. So I think that's probably the thing that's keeping Mike McDonald up at night this week, is just figuring out, make sure we got our gaps covered and we don't let Christian McCaffrey, Brian Robinson, those guys get going, and we are able to put them into second and third and long so that we can start playing to our strengths rushing the passer.
Any solution for the best tight end in the league, George Kittle?
Well, we'll see how much they put the rookie on him, but Nick Emenwari, I think part of the reason that they were intrigued by him, not just because he's – look, they listed him coming out of the combine at 6'3", 220. I have stood next to the guy on the practice field. He's more 6'4", 235. And I don't know if they were measuring him with his cleats in a hole in the ground or what, but he is taller. I watched him stand next to Richard Sherman, and he is every bit 6'4". He's a massive dude. He runs just as fast as you would expect with his combine time. Had a really good training camp. he's a rookie, so there's going to be some rawness to it. But if there's a guy that you could put on George Kittle that is going to have an opportunity to be able to match him size-wise and also has 4.3 speed, can come up and tackle, can blitz, I'm expecting to see quite a bit of Nick Emanwari in this game on George Kittle. And they'll mix in some Julian Love on him as well. But I think Nick Emanwari, part of the reason they wanted to bring him in is because of matchups like this against really good tight ends. You just don't see 6'4", 230-pound guys with 4.3 speed. They don't grow on trees. So they're going to try to utilize him as that third safety, a pseudo linebacker, a very big nickel. He's going to play a lot of different positions in this defense.
Are they starting him, or is he second string?
I'm listing him as a starter. I expect he is going to be playing right out of the gate. They'll probably be playing in a nickel set or a dime set even as their base, because he can just drop down to the box, and he's built like a linebacker. So we'll see how much he plays in terms of, but I have a feeling Mike McDonald is going to have a very hard time getting him off the field. And their other two safeties are really good too. So I think that you're going to see a lot of Kobe Bryant, Julian Love, and Nick Emanwari on the field together.
Yeah, I don't know. Kittle over the middle is pretty unstoppable. So I guess we'll see what happens.
If there's a guy that might be built to be able to do it, Emanwari, again, he's a rookie. This will be his first game. Maybe that's a really good draw for George Kittle there. And I still think he is one of the 2 or 3 best tight ends in the league, and he's killed Seattle over the years. So Mike McDonald, that's going to be another thing he's looking at this week. How can we try to mitigate Kittle's damage, especially with some of the other missing pieces they have at receiver? I'm really curious to see what they do game planning wise.
What are you expecting from, like, this is year 2 of the post Pete Carroll era? Like, how much deeper is this system this year? Like, what are what were the things they were looking to change from the Pete Carroll era to now, and have they so far, do you think they've accomplished that?
I think it was all about the defense, honestly, which it's crazy considering the amazing defense that Seattle had for most of Pete Carroll's tenure. It's just the last 3 or 4 years, the defense dropped off substantially, and they felt it was time for a different voice. And Mike McDonald has given them that. And last 8 games last year, they were in the top 3 in scoring defense, and they have pretty much that entire cast and a few new pieces added to it. So they feel like the defense is right where it should be. Mike McDonald's got most of these guys in year 2 in his system, so he can add some more wrinkles. They had to really simplify the playbook midway through the season last year just because it was too much for these guys. I think now they can put all that on the plates of players like Ernest Jones and Leonard Williams and Devin Witherspoon, and those guys can make sure everybody's where they need to be. The communication's on point. I'm expecting this to be a little more aggressive defense in year 2. I don't know if that means the blitz rate is going to skyrocket necessarily. Maybe they're going to be sending guys from other levels of the defense and dropping guys back, doing zone blitzes, sim pressures. But I am expecting that Mike McDonald is going to be cooking a lot more in that regard this year because his guys have the full playbook down.
Who is the Seahawks' best pass rusher?
Well, if you're looking from a speed perspective, I actually right now would say Derek Hall. I think Derek Hall going into his 3rd season, he could be a double-digit sack caliber player this year. In terms of overall pass rusher, though, it's number 99. I do not know how Leonard Williams was not an All-Pro last year. He absolutely should have been at least a second-team All-Pro with the stat line. He had a pick 6 for 92 yards, double-digit sacks, double-digit tackles for loss, 16 quarterback hits. I mean, he was phenomenal last year. And the guy is an absolute menace to try to block one-on-one in the interior. You can line him up at different alignments. So I would say in terms of best pure pass rusher, it's Leonard Williams. If you're looking from a speed and explosiveness standpoint, if you can get a healthy Uchenna Nwosu back and he can stay healthy, maybe that changes things. But Derek Hall would be my pick in that regard right now.
I have to ask that. Does the new head coach have a chewing gum addiction?
No, he does not. I don't think that you're going to see a bunch of bubble yum thing on the field with Mike McDonald. He's a more straight lace, just on the sideline, occasional yell type of guy. You're not going to see him chewing a bunch of gum.
All right. So You were talking, a bunch of Seahawks. Now switching over to the Niners. What are your honest thoughts on the Niners this season?
I think this might be one of the toughest teams to figure out what they are going to be this year, to be honest, because I think in terms of star power, the 49ers still have it. I think Fred Warner is still the best linebacker in the NFL. I think George Kittle is still an elite tight end. I think Christian McCaffrey, if he can stay healthy, still has a couple really good seasons left in him. I think that Trent Williams is still an elite player. My question is all the youth they're going to be playing on defense. And maybe that turns out to be a good thing, and some of those guys really hit the ground running. It could also be a case, especially these early games in the season, where an experienced play caller is going to be able to pick apart some of those rookies. That's the biggest question that I have. I'm expecting that Kyle Shanahan is going to have this offense humming. He's going to be able to withstand some of the departures and injuries they've had, and they're going to be able to score points. My big question is, do they have enough around Nick Bosa and Fred Warner with all these rookies they're going to be thrown in the lineup and the general inexperience in the secondary? I'm just wondering what that is going to look like early in the season. And are they going to be able to withstand the run the way they have in the past with some of the newcomers they're going to have to play in the trenches too? So I think a lot of their questions are on that side of the ball for me.
Ty, what are your to rebut what Corbin is saying? What are your thoughts?
No rebuttal. That is the big question mark, right? We got all these new guys on defense, so it's like, how will they hold up? The one thing I can say is we also have Robert Saleh. He's one of the best defensive play callers in the league, and he's been in this position before. So, and I think Corbin, like you said, last year for the Seahawks, they simplified things for those young guys to just keep them in place and have them humming along. I think out the gate, Robert Saleh will do the same thing. Just keep things simple for these young guys, make sure they're in a proper position to make plays, and see how they hold up. So it is a question mark, but we got the guy at the helm to be able to handle this situation.
Maddie, thoughts?
You're muted. Unmute yourself.
I'm like, is it Sunday at 4 yet? Those are literally my thoughts right now about everything.
Just bring it on.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, right? Like, that's where I'm at right now with literally all of it and everything. With this whole team, like with this, everything they did this offseason and everything that everybody in the division did, like nobody in this division stood around. The Seahawks made a bunch of moves. Like some teams like do some stuff each year, but like literally every team this year like went pretty hog wild and did some things that they think are going to propel them into the conversation, where Philadelphia was last year. So we'll see. This whole thing is just I've never been more excited about a season than this one because I truly don't know what to expect.
Tina, your thoughts?
Yeah, I was just thinking back to last season when we played Seattle, and I was surprised at how quick they were, which shocked me because I never seen them be that quick, especially with the release and especially with their defense was like bang right there. But I was looking into
she froze.
There's one guy that stood out. I'm trying to think of his name. Woolen? No, he's cornerback.
Rick Woolen, yeah.
Yeah. What's his story? Because from what I've seen of him, he looks pretty dangerous, but I think we can contain him. I mean,
he's in a contract year, so there's going to be a lot of motivation for Rick Woolen this year. He's got millions of dollars on the table. Very rare athlete at 6'4".
Yeah.
I think he ran a 4.26 at the
Yeah.
combine
Yeah.
a few years back. So he's
Right.
he's always been an incredibly talented guy, and he's been productive. There's just also been, I know the coaches have been frustrated at times because he's still relatively new to that position. He was a receiver most of his college career. So there's been some frustrations. He's been briefly benched a couple of times the last 2 years, but then he's gotten back in the lineup, and he can make plays even when he gets coverage bust because he's so fast and so long that he can make up for it. So they're hoping this year that he's just going to be much more consistent in his second season playing in this defense. And if he is, Seahawks are going to have some very tough decisions to make because they also got to pay Devin Witherspoon soon too. So they've got a couple of really good young corners they're going to have to make some decisions on. And they've got some cap space to work with, but that'll dry up pretty quickly if they're paying 2 corners top dollar. So.
Yeah, that was my next question about Witherspoon. Where does he stand in this? Because the guy, it seems like he's really phenomenal, but that's going to be a tough take. But what's his story?
Oh, I think that Devin Witherspoon is ready for a breakout third season. And I think he's been better than his stats would suggest the last 2 years. Some of it's been teams just don't throw at him very much. He's a really good player, very instinctive. I remember talking to Illinois' head coach when he was a junior there, and he said that the offense thought he was cheating all the time and he was stealing their plays. And it's just, he knew what they were running based on just looking at where guys were lined up and stuff. He's just that kind of a X-ray vision type of player. And I think this year playing a little bit more on the outside because Eamon is going to play in the slot quite a bit. I think there's going to be more opportunities for him to make plays on the football. And so I think this is a breakout season coming for Devin Witherspoon, and he's going to be discussed as one of the best corners in the league. If he's already not in that mix, I think he's played to that level because he does a lot of things that other corners don't do, like get sacks and blow people up in the backfield. Right. But I think this is the year you start to hear about number 21 as one of the very best corners in the NFL.
So out of all of the positions on your team, which one you think stands out the strongest?
I think it's the safety position. I think that's easily their strongest spot because they already had 2 really good starters. Julian Love got all pro votes last year. Kobe Bryant took over as starter midway through the year, and he had 3 picks, 3 interceptions and a pick 6 and 8 starts, was really, really good. And now they've added Eamon, who has the highest ceiling of any of those 3 players with his size, his athleticism, his ball skills, his blitzing ability. They've just got to make sure they can get him as a rookie up to speed fully. But that position, Ty Akata, their fourth safety, is a really good player. They have another guy in their practice squad that DeAnthony Bell had a good preseason and training camp. And that is just a loaded position group that they have a ton of talent at.
We got to really pay attention to. We got to really look out for the safeties.
Yeah, you gotta know where those guys are at all times because they're going to be interchangeable. They could play all 3 of those guys all over the field, and it's going to make it a little tougher for the quarterback to know who's playing what position.
Okay.
So, what do you think of our cornerback, Diamador Lenore?
I've always enjoyed the little verbal fights that he's gotten into with a couple of Seattle receivers, and I figured that's going to continue this year. I'm wondering how much Cooper Kupp coming to Seattle. The fact those guys have gone against each other quite a bit. If Cooper Kupp's actually kind of an under the radar trash talker. So is Jake Bobo. Jake Bobo is not a guy that you would think can talk trash, but really? I always look forward to. I like the way Lenore plays the game. He's kind of got that fiery, pesky playing style, and he tries to get underneath guys' skin. That's been a big part of this rivalry for a really long time. Guys like that really work under the other team's skin. And he's kind of been one of their poster guys for that the last couple of years. So I think now that him being one of the old men in that secondary, you can expect that he's going to be trying to get that mentality passed down to some of the other players now that are going to be in the lineup with him.
Wow.
Hey, how's Jake Bobo's health? Because I saw he was a little nicked up at one point.
Yeah,
how's he doing?
He's still in concussion protocol. He was doing a little bit today on the field. If I had to guess now, I think he'll be out of protocol by the end of the week. He suffered that concussion in their preseason finale. So from my understanding, it sounds like he's getting close to being out of it, but he's still at the very end of the concussion protocol.
Gotcha. Okay.
So your X factors to win the game on Sunday.
Are we talking players or are we talking game planning stuff?
You could do both, players, game plan.
To me, the X factor, if we're talking from a player's standpoint for the Seahawks, I've got to mention Nicky Manwari, just because I mentioned earlier, he's going to be playing in his first game. You're going against one of the best tight ends in the NFL in George Kittle. So you got to wonder, how is he going to handle that going against that caliber of a player in his first regular season game? And at the same time, there's so much intrigue because guys with those kind of tools, they just, you can make an argument he's the most athletic big guy that there's ever been at his size, the way they can run, the way he can jump. So there's a fascination there. I want to see what he looks like in this game and how he steps up his first big stage in a regular season. If he has a good game, I think the Seahawks have a really good shot to win this one. He is the X factor for me to watch in this game. As far as from a scenario standpoint, from an X factor standpoint, I think you got to look at the red zone efficiency. That is going to ultimately decide what's going to happen in this game. Seattle was one of the worst red zone teams in the NFL last year. I think they're going to be a lot better with Clint Kubiak calling the plays, but we got to see it actually happen on the field. If they're missing points in the red zone against a team like the 49ers, that could be the difference whether they get a win or not to start the season.
How do you like the rivalry jersey?
I never would say that I'm a purist because I love their action green uniforms, but I don't love these rivalry jerseys. The green is weird. And it might look better in person. Like last year, I did not like the Detroit Lions blue helmets when I first saw them. And then we went to the game and I was like, okay, those actually look pretty cool. So maybe my mind will change on that. But the wolf gray, I'm not a fan of. It looks like an Oregon uniform in a lot of ways. So not a big fan.
All right. So the NFC West is it's always a competitive division, albeit, the division games are always competitive. So how do you see the NFC West shaping out?
This to me will be the toughest division, maybe aside from the NFC North. I could see any of the four teams in the NFC North winning it all in that division. But I think you could say the same thing about the NFC West. I think every team's got holes that you can poke. The Rams, the health of Matthew Stafford is still something that I think is worth watching. I think they've got a really fun young defense, though. They've got weapons on offense. So I would think the Rams are still probably the favorite to win this division. And then I think the next tier would be San Francisco and Seattle. If San Francisco can keep their stars healthy and the young guys get caught up. To me, there are still plenty of question marks there. Seattle, it's all about the offense. Is Sam Darnold going to be able to pick up where he left off last year? Can they run the football? Is the O-line going to be better the way that it looks like it is going to be? Can the defense live up to really high expectations? And then the team that Arizona, I just cannot buy. I don't know why. I know there's a lot of people that are looking at them as a team that could be a dark horse. Until I see Kyler Murray play an entire season at a high level, which he has not done to this point, and I see the defense do more than play, have a good game and then have a bad one. I just can't take the Cardinals as a legitimate threat to win this division. I could see them being around 500. But to me, it's those top three teams. If everything plays out with health and you have your star players available, I think San Francisco will be right there. I think Seattle is getting slept on by a lot of people because this was a team that had a top 5 defense second half last year, and everybody is back. And offense, I think they are going to be a better offense with just the fact that they have experienced coaches on that side of the ball this year. I think that is going to be a big difference maker for them. And the Rams are the Rams. I think as long as Matthew Stafford is healthy and Sean McVay obviously calling the shots there, any one of those three teams could win it. I can't jump into the Arizona could win it yet pool. I just can't jump into that pool at this point.
Well, these guys think that all except Kurt Warner think that the Rams are going to win the NFC West.
Well, again, I think they're probably the favorite just based on they've got some really good young players on defense. They've got a lot of weapons on offense. I do think that the Matthew Stafford thing is hovering over them, though. I have to see him play the entire season and be healthy. That's a huge question mark for them, in my opinion.
So, what's your record prediction for the Seahawks?
I think Seattle wins at least 11 games. I think this is a team that is getting, like I said, I think they're getting slept on. And I think the national narrative is all about the quarterback. And I get it. I understand the Sam Darnold discussion, but I don't think the Seahawks have built this team where they're asking Sam Darnold to throw for 4,500 yards and throw 35 touchdowns. They're building this team to get back to running the football and having a dominant defense. I think they've already got the dominant defense there. Now the question is, can you get the run game that you believe you have in place to take some pressure off of Darnold and then let the passing game be a complementary force? This team won 10 games without a run game last year, and I do not expect to see that again this year. They are not going to be 28th in rushing again. Ryan Grubb, you're in Tuscaloosa now. Go take that. So I think Seattle is an 11 or 12 win team if they can keep everybody healthy. I think this is a talented football team that has a lot of depth. They've got a really good defense. I could see 3 teams in this division getting to double-digit wins if everything holds out health-wise, especially because they get to play the AFC South for 4 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 last ones for me. How's your special teams?
That to me is that might be the biggest issue going into the season. Jason Myers, I don't know what this is. Jason Myers, I've never seen a player have splits like this. Even seasons, he is like a perennial all-pro caliber kicker. Odd numbered years, he forgets how to make field goals. It's so weird. 2021, he made 73% of his kicks. 2023, he made 83%. The season between those, he was north of 90. Last year, he was around 87%. 2020, he was north of 90%. Year before that, he was in the low 80s again. He has consistently been worse in odd years, and I can't explain it. I don't know. And by the way, it's 2025. So you have that concern. Michael Dixon's the one thing I'm not concerned about. That guy is one of the top punters every single year. You're just hoping he's not your best player anymore, because that's been a problem for the Seahawks at times. And their kick returners, there's some talented guys there. But I'm just wondering, the kick and punt coverage looked leaky at times last year. It didn't look good in the preseason games. I'm curious to see what that looks like. That could end up being a little bit of a weak point for this team potentially if Jay Harbaugh does not get that coached up.
So what do you think of the Niners special teams?
I haven't had a chance to watch too much of San Francisco where their kick return and stuff is at this point, but they've had their share of issues with some missed kicks. So until I see consistency on that front, I don't necessarily say that I'd put them in the top couple teams that's out there. There's still questions for both these teams. And I think special teams, especially with the rule changes too that have happened in the last couple of years, I think that some of these coaches, some of these coordinators are still trying to figure out how to maximize the players they have and some of the different body types that you're going to use, especially on kick coverage, with them not having to run all the way downfield anymore. I think you're still seeing a lot of experimenting going on from a lot of these teams.
So last one from me, your honest score prediction for Sunday.
27-23 Seattle. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a close game. I expect week one is always crazy. You just don't know what to expect in these games. I think the fact that Seattle's got their defense, pretty much most of their guys are healthy. They're coming into this game. They've got a lot of continuity. I think they're going to be able to run the ball fairly well in this game too. I think San Francisco will get their shots. They're going to get some big plays. They always do. I think that Seattle finally gets that streak at Lumen Field over, though, and gets a win in this one. I do think it is definitely one that could go either way, though. I think these teams are pretty evenly matched, at least when they're close to full strength.
Okay. All right. Corbin Smith, Seahawk reporter for the Emerald City Spectrum. Thank you so much.
Yes, Corbin.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks
you.
for having me. I
Appreciate you.
appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good luck
All
this
right.
season. Go Niners.
Go on.
Oh
that
boy.
All right, good stuff. I liked him.
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah. All right, guys. So what do you guys think of the rivalry jerseys?
Ours or theirs?
Ours.
Oh,
Screw theirs.
oh, okay. I was going to say, please.
Just shit about theirs.
Yeah.
Not. I like them. The more I look at it, I actually like it. And I love the style of the numbers. I love that
Smooth font.
style.
And shadow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it reminds me of something I saw in my collection, and I was just like, oh, they're going back to that. Ooh. But I really like it. I kind of wished in a way that it was a gold jersey, maybe, or a red. But it's growing on me. I think they're pretty funky.
Yeah,
Like, you buying me one?
I think they're okay. I'm a big saloon font person, so
Yeah.
I definitely like the saloon font. Am I gonna buy one? I don't know. Probably not.
I think I'm gonna wait a while.
I would have preferred a red helmet. I'm not really a big fan of the black helmets. Only because I'm staring at a red helmet signed by Brock Purdy over here.
There
So
you go.
I really like the red helmet. But Ty, your thoughts?
I'm kind of in between on them. It's weird. Like I like the black on black aesthetic. I like the saloon font with the red. The gold trim throws me off. I don't know why. It's something about it. And it's something about 2-digit jerseys that I just can't get. It's something about it that's throwing me off. Like single digits, I'm fine. Like I saw the Lenore jersey that they've been showing for everyone. And I'm like, oh, well, that looks good. But then I look at Fred Warner's and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't look too good. It's something about it. So I don't know. Like Corbin was saying, I think I need to see it in person. I think that's going to be like a real determining factor for me to see how I really feel about it. So, if someone wants to send me one,
Hey,
look out for your boy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm on the fence right now.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying about the numbers because the Lenore jersey I really liked, and then
I thought that was clean. I was like, ooh, yeah.
And then you go to like 54, 85, 44.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, okay.
it looks too busy. You know what I mean? Like it really looks kind of too
a little crowded or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maddie, what do you think?
It's just like a money grab. Like I
Oh,
want
yeah,
to get
I think
excited about it, but I really, really just don't care. Like it's really almost like they're still not really giving us what we want. Right.
No.
Like nobody really agrees on this. It's just one more thing. I don't know. We don't need this many alternate jerseys. We already got the best jerseys in the league. What are we screwing around for? Like, why? I don't get it. I don't know. Curmudgeonly old man, get off my lawn. It's just one of those deals I just don't understand. I don't understand the excitement about it and all the yipping on social media. Like, what? Who the hell cares? Woo!
As long as they win.
Yeah, I said it before. It was a marketing money grab situation. Like
yippity doo dah day,
like,
right?
I don't even care. And then we're wearing it the last game of the season. Like, ooh, like,
yeah.
I'll remember that 4 months from now, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Like, what are we doing?
So the white primary jerseys, they're going to be worn through the first 6 weeks of the season, and for the home opener, they're wearing the white throwback, which I think is kind of cool.
Clean as fuck.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That jersey.
Also,
I've never seen them play in those jerseys, so I'm excited for that.
You want to wear those jerseys, especially in that heat, right? I'm glad somebody's finally people are using their brain. They're 8 years into this experiment now. And they're finally realized, geez, maybe we don't want our people in the sun all the time.
Yeah.
Way to go, gang! Wow.
Yeah, I think that was kind of like all Kyle Shanahan. They said like with the jerseys and doing as much as possible to like reduce the heat.
Yeah, because
we've
been there
everything this offseason.
Yeah. Yeah,
dude really did. He really looked at everything this offseason.
Yeah.
Was like, he is going to he looked around. I'm impressed.
Yeah. We've all been there. We know it gets hot. And even though like the players' bench is on the shady side of the field, they still got to step onto the field where that sun just beams on you and you're still burning up. So I think it's a smart thing to do. I like it. Anything you can do to keep these players fresher and healthier and more hydrated to perform at their highest peak, do it. Like let's just get it done.
I could never figure out for years why the Miami Dolphins always wore their white jerseys when they played at home, and then
now you know.
Now you get it.
When you're a kid, you're just like,
yeah.
It took me a while to be like, oh, that would be why.
Dag, I better take my white jerseys to the dry cleaners.
Same thing with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because remember, they had that hole in the roof, so God could watch his team play.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, I sit in the sun no matter what game I go to.
That's what you do, yes. Even when you went to Atlanta, you're the only person I've ever met that went to Atlanta and got a sunburn. I've never met that before.
Wait a minute. I did go to an Atlanta game, and I actually turned burgundy.
Oh, woo.
Okay, that's how hot it was. I didn't realize it until I saw my hands and the top of my thighs as I was wearing shorts, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm burgundy! Oh crap, this hurts."
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was definitely warm during that game. For sure. And Ty, I was just I was talking with my mom the other day about like where we always sit. Like we always sit like at opposite ends.
Opposite ends, yeah.
Always. Like it's never on the same side. It's never, like across. It's always diagonal.
The weirdest thing.
Another.
Yep.
And it's the same thing at the Giants game.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you sitting, Maddie?
I haven't. Do you think I'm not getting anything until no, I'll wait. I'll wait until the day before. We're not road trip tickets are purchased the day of. That's how that works.
Got it.
So,
Dina, you going to the Giants game?
I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm looking for a decent price ticket, like on the somewhere in the end zone. I saw one that was $210.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and the
that's actually not bad.
No.
Yeah, it was $210 in the 200 level, like 202B, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But I had to have major car repair done, so that took that away.
Gotcha.
I was looking at renting a bus to see like how much it would cost to get like a bunch of Niner fans down, and like the cheapest price I could find would be like leaving Saturday and coming back Sunday after the game. It was somewhere in the vicinity of, $6,000 or so. So if I broke that up across 30 people and then get a game ticket and stuff like that, I'm like, wow.
$6 grand?
$6 for like a 30 person bus.
Wow.
I'm like, whew. So yeah. So I was trying to do math on that and it was hard. So
yeah.
Don't do the math, Maddie.
I think we're just gonna have a caravan of people that come down, and I think we'll all just go.
You're probably better off.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. We'll probably just all go to Jess's house the night before and tailgate.
There you go.
Come on over.
Partay.
That's right. Juwan Jennings. He's back. He was limited today. Kyle Shanahan said that he will most likely play on Sunday. Thoughts on his return?
Yeah, this is what they were holding all these guys out for. We talked about it weeks ago about how they were very cautious with guys this offseason. JJ with the calf, which was bothering him all off season. You keep him out. Like, it's all about week 1, Seattle. Like, do we need to see Juwan Jennings in the preseason? No. Even if he was healthy, he wouldn't have played anyway, right?
True.
So you hold him out till now. Now's the first time it's like, all right, practice is real.
Right.
Everybody get your butts in here. Can you walk? Get in here. And that's what we saw. And it wasn't just Jennings. It was a whole bunch of guys that came back. So good to see him. He'll be out there. How much he'll play, we don't know, because he still looked a little ginger from the stuff I saw of him just running. It was still a little bit. So we'll see how much he actually plays, but he'll be on the field on Sunday. But it's good to see him back and practicing.
Yeah.
Tina?
Yeah, I'm glad. I mean, I like the guy. I'm glad. I'm just like, like Ty said, he is a little ginger on that. Just hope they don't put him in as much as possible. Give him a few reps and then sit him down. So that way we can have him for future use, especially as the season goes on. But I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's back. I can breathe a sigh of relief.
Maddie, thoughts?
Is it Sunday at 4 yet? Like, that's just where I'm at right
No.
now. Everything. I'm sorry. I'm just
Still got a few days to go. 4 days.
Right?
4 days.
Andy Lee days to go.
Oh my God. That's just where I'm at with everything right now. With like literally everything. This thing with Jennings, like what really gets me about it is like we all kind of knew this was coming. And the 49ers have decided, all right, we're not paying everybody. We're just not. We're not going to pay everyone. So we'll see how this turns out. And, calf injuries can sometimes turn into other injuries as well, right? So I'm going to be very interested to see how that turns out, especially if he gets the same amount of minutes that, he would get with a full preseason because of all the people that are missing, right? So just that's something to keep an eye on this weekend as the season kicks off in Seattle. But, he needs to be on the field to make money to get the money that he wants, right? Like
exactly.
He's got to go out and have a contract year.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he doesn't play, he's out $625,000 each game.
Yeah. And you're not getting that back. Ask Le'Veon Bell. You don't get that back.
Wow.
And sometimes you don't get your other stuff back. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't get your talent back all the way. You know what I mean? So shout out to him for showing up, and shout out to the 49ers, I guess, for holding the hard line, but I don't understand why they wouldn't try to make him at least a little bit happy this year. Like, he did outplay his deal. If he underplayed his deal, you'd want to cut him like you did Leonard Floyd, right? Like, a little top up wouldn't have hurt anybody, is what I'm saying, right? With some easily achievable incentives.
But you don't top off hurt guys.
Well,
so like
meanwhile, the Packers are like, let's overtop that hurt guy, right? Dude,
hey, that's their problem. That's their stupidity.
There's levels,
especially
of
a guy with a back issue.
I just look at it with like, there's a level of hurt, and if they topped it up for this year and this year only, I'm okay with that. Like, long term, if stuff's going on, and also it's got to be easily achieved as incentives. If you get hurt, you're not achieving anything, no matter how easy they are. So that's my 10 cents on it.
Yeah.
All right. So a couple more before we get out of here. X factors for the 49ers to win this game on Sunday. Dina, go.
Defense.
Ty?
They got to step it up.
Oh, she wasn't done.
Oh.
Defense. They have to step it up.
Boom. Okay. She crushed it. She got it.
There you go. O-line, controlling the line of scrimmage. Like I said before, I think we'll get back to some bully ball. So those guys got to be able to control the line and push guys around and wear them down. So for me, it's the offensive line.
For me, I'm going 3 individuals. Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy, and George Kittle. Shocker.
Yeah. We're all
Kyle Shanahan, because like I've been saying for a while, it's good to have him focusing on the offense. not having to worry about the defense. So I'm really excited to see that. And Brock Purdy and George Kittle for obvious reasons. Maddie, go ahead.
Brock Purdy, obviously, because Brock Purdy has a pretty good record against Seattle. Nick Bosa, because that dude needs to come out and have a game. I don't want to hear about how many pressures he had. I want to hear about how many sacks he had, and it needs to be more than one against this
Sackaroonies.
Against this this rebuilt offensive line.
It's rebuilt. Yeah.
Let's go. Okay. Let's go be that guy. Okay. I'm sure Nick Bosa is going to want to get paid again sometime real soon. So this may be a contract year type of year for him. So, and then my third X factor, of course, is going to be Jake Moody. Like, he just needs to have a nice, smooth, confident game. You know, hit your extra points, hit your field goals, and get the hell out of there. No drama, no roller coaster. Just go in, be a robot, get in, get out. Right? That's what I want to see from Jake Moody this week.
McNiner says special teams. All right.
And also, whoever's returning punts, because that seems to be a thing every time we're anywhere.
Sky Moore.
Yeah, I think they're gonna put Sky Moore back there.
Sky Moore is going to be back there.
Okay, last one. Score predictions. Ty, go.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say 27-23 Niners. And so we hit that 24 mark that Damon Bruce and talked about and Matt talked about last week when he predicted his score. But we'll see 3 to 4 touchdowns in there. We're going to get back to that. Maybe 1-2 field goals. The touchdown to field goal ratio will favor the touchdowns this year. We're going to get back to that. So there you go.
I hope it's not close, but I'm going to say 27-21 Niners.
I like it.
Yeah, Maddie.
26-24 Niners. I think Moody hits a walk-off. Start the year off right.
Yeah, Dina.
Ty already said it for me. 27-23.
Red Jet says 28-25. Crazy Juice 24-21. Okay.
That was best score last week. Yeah.
All right. 2-minute warning. Go.
We're here. Week 1. Let's have some fun. Shit. Like, we get to stop talking about this crap anymore. We get to actually see the team on the field. So root hard, go Niners, be the faithful, support your team, and let's get at it.
Yeah, Dina. Go ahead, Dina.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. Week 1 is here. Football is back. Yay. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to support the red and gold. Go Niners. Let's do this.
Thank you to Corbin Smith for coming on. It was a great chat, even though he's, part of the Seahawks. Shout out to the chat. You guys are awesome as always. And congratulations to Diamador Lenore for becoming a captain this season. Well deserved. As always, go Niners. Maddie, go ahead.
Don't forget to get your tickets to the remaining games, just not the home opener because Jess is taking that one. You can find me on Twitter, you can find me or X, or you can find me on Instagram, and you Venmo me, and I'll send you your tickets. It's really that simple, and you get to eat and drink during that time frame. Like, I don't know what else I could do for you. Also, it's in the player tunnel, and I'm selling it to you at a great deal because you're a 49ers fan, and I want to make sure you're there and not some other idiot. Okay. Thanks.
All right. Let's get this dub on Sunday. Everybody enjoy the game. As Ty said, stay faithful, go Niners, and we'll see you next week.
See you, everybody.
And of course, for the upstart 49ers, they're 6 yards away from Pontiac. 3rd and 3.
We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly.
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone.